fear. What is fear anyway? Well, fear is basically defined as an unpleasant emotion caused by a belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. So, tonight I'm kind of talking about fear related to success and letting fear stand in our way. There's a great saying by Susan Kasem, and it is doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And I just love that quote because it is so true. Self doubt and self talk, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight: self doubt and self talk, because those two things are something that are dream killers. So, fear defined is that fear of belief that something bad is going to happen. It's going to cause you pain or it's going to threaten you in some way. So, one thing I always tell people when they have fears is to ask themselves, what is your fear? What are you afraid of? That is your roadblock, and regardless of what area of your life that you're talking about. So, again, I'm Penny Morgan. Tonight we're talking about fear, overcoming it, and how to cope with change, because fear of change is a huge one. Right now, I know there's so much change going on for so many people. So we're going to talk about some manifesting and what manifesting is, because a lot of people still ask, what is manifesting and what does it mean to have high vibration, and what is all these buzzwords and abundance? What does this stuff mean? So we're going to get into that. My channel is Penny Morgan Live Positive, and it's all about high vibrational living. So I do all strategies for keeping you on a high vibration. I do natural alternatives, because when we do things really good for ourselves and our body, that raises our vibration. I'm going to talk to you about raising vibration in a minute, but I'm also going to explain what that is first. So I do talk a lot about on my channel law of attraction techniques like scripting, journaling, law of attraction planners. I actually create, design, and have law of attraction planners up on Amazon for you guys that get you in the habits of creating those new habits that take you into a place in your life where you can manifest, which is bring into your life health, wealth, and happiness in abundance. And I also do this by encouraging you to have healthy living basics in your background, and give you healthy living and natural strategy tips. So if that resonates with you, go ahead and smash the subscribe button for me, and let's jump into this. Helping others, that is my goal. I want you to learn something that inspires you and inspires you to take action, and to bring you more health, wealth, and happiness into your life. And I do this through sharing weekly content here on YouTube, and also over on Patreon. I share some exclusive content over on Patreon. Matter of fact, this live stream will be posted on Patreon. I will only leave it up on YouTube for a limited time, and then it will be on the Patreon feed. And I also, like I said, offer those tools like journaling and planners that I create and design that are based on law of attraction. They have guided prompts in them, and just giving you those natural strategies all along the way to keep you on that positive high vibration. All meant to empower you understanding universal law. I've got videos on Understanding Universal Law. I'm going to link up 2 playlists at the end of this live stream. One of those is going to be on natural alternative strategies, and the other one will be on empowering universal law techniques. And those have tons of videos in them on both of those, which is what this channel is about. And then also helping you to just look and feel your best, because when we look and feel our best, that is creating that positive mindset and that high vibrational frequency that we need to attract the things into our life that we want. Verb 2, and as an action verb, it is to display or show a quality or feeling by one's acts or appearance, or to demonstrate something. So that's what manifest means. Now let's talk about vibration, because you'll hear a lot about raise your vibration, and it's important to understand what this means. Well, first of all, let me explain. We live in a motion of ocean. What does that mean? That means that everything in the universe, it doesn't matter what it is, this is all about metaphysics and quantum physics, and so everything in the universe is vibrating on some frequency. It doesn't matter if it's this mouse, or if it's the microphone, if it's a living human being, a living animal. Everything vibrates on a frequency. There is actually studies done of what frequency specific things vibrate on, and I'm going to get into more of that on some other videos, because I find it totally incredibly amazing and fascinating. So we're going to dive into some of those frequencies in some of the other videos. So if you haven't clicked subscribe, go ahead and click subscribe, and give me a thumbs up if you're finding value in this content so far. So let's talk about vibration defined physics-wise. It is an oscillation of parts, fluid, elastic, solid, whose equilibrium has been distributed, or of an electromagnetic wavelength. So that's the physics definition of it. Informally, it is defined as a person's emotional state, the atmosphere of a place, or the association of an object as communicated to and felt by others. So, have you ever walked into a place and you get a vibe on that place? And it's kind of a freaky vibe, or it's a good vibe, or it's a bad vibe, but you get a vibe? That is the atmosphere of a place, and places give off vibrations just like people give off vibrations. Think of an example is 2 cymbals crashing together, and you know how they vibrate and they just keep resonating, or a tuning fork being tapped. And like I said, I just recently got some tuning forks, so I'm excited about working with those. So watch for more videos on that. But yes, we live in an ocean of motion, and the key to this is one simple thing. It's awareness. Being aware of the vibrations that we put out, and being aware of the vibrations that other people put out, or being aware of the vibrations that is coming from a place. That is the key, and that is learning to listen to something that we all have, and it is not magic, but it is called that little voice inside, that little voice of intuition. And when we try to logically or reason things, then we are not listening to our little voice of intuition, that 9 times out of 10 you will look back and say, man, I should have listened to that little voice inside of me, and I didn't listen to it. So learning to tune in to that little voice inside of you is awareness, and becoming self-aware of that. And self-talk is a huge thing when it comes to overcoming self-doubt and fear. There are so many great books out there. Some of them have been around for a very long time. The Bible is one of them, and many other religious teachings talk about all of the principles associated with universal law. So, even though universal law is not religion based, you can find similar teachings and principles in almost every religion out there. There's some really great older books, and I will link up one of those in the description below. Florence Scovel Shinn, The Power of the Spoken Word. Any of her books are fantastic, and they were written in like 1940. So she was so way ahead of her time, and just love anything that she has out there. So let's talk about something else as we move through facing fears, because what is the opposite of fear? This is a huge one, because understanding the opposite of fear is one way that we can overcome it. And the opposite of fear is, you guessed it, faith. That's right. So faith is the opposite of fear. Let me ask you a question. Does speaking something give it power? Absolutely. Even if you only speak it with your internal voice, your self-talk voice that nobody else hears, you are still giving it power. But boy, when you put it out there into the world and speak it out loud, you're just 10xing the power. So we want to be very mindful of how we're self-talking to ourselves, because that's where the thoughts come from, and then those turn into words and actions. So it starts there. Let's talk about faith and active faith. What is active faith? Active faith is actually putting action behind. So you'll hear people say, well, I have faith in this. But if you're not putting action behind something, then you don't have active faith. So let me give you an example of this. There's an old story that I love. And this story goes something like this. There were two wise men in the desert, and they had their camels. And the one wise man says, I'm not tying my camel up tonight after their long journey. I'm going to leave my camel loose, and I have faith that God will look after my camel and take care of it. And the second wise man ties his camel up, and he says to the other wise man, he says, it's great to have faith, but do all you can for yourself. Tie your camel up. So just keep that in mind as you go through life. Do all you can for yourself and walk in that active faith by doing what you can for yourself and living in what you have asked for and what you know and believe in your faith that is coming to you. Walk in that faith. So tie the camel up and walk in the faith that everything you have expected and asked for is coming to you. So fear and doubt oppose faith at every crossroad. How can we overcome this? There's some really great books out there. Another one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and this has an excellent chapter in it dedicated strictly to decisive action, because decision or indecisiveness causes inaction, and a lot of times we'll miss a window of opportunity by taking no action because we are having indecisive issues. And so learning how to be decisive is a great thing as far as your active faith. Don't create problems before they arise. Sometimes you'll hear people say, well, I want to buy a house, but I don't have any money. Well, you haven't even got there yet, and you're already creating a problem for yourself by saying, I don't have any money. If you truly want the house, walk in faith of the steps that you need to go through to get the house. Maybe it is fixing your credit. Start the steps. Walk in the faith of getting the credit right so that you are taking the steps and walking in the faith that that house is coming to you. And I talk a lot about scripting. And so let's talk about what scripting is here. Scripting is writing a story. This is a law of attraction technique, but it's journaling, yet it's writing what you see and what you envision, because one of the most powerful tools that you can have is visualization is huge tool when it comes to achieving any goal. If you can visualize a goal, you can achieve that goal. If you can visualize it and hold that vision, you can achieve that. You will achieve that goal. There's no way that you can't achieve that if you can visualize it and hold that visualization. Well, how does scripting help with that? Scripting helps with that by writing out the story as you see it. So you're writing out, you're living in your new house. You're writing out the details of what it looks like. As I pull up to my house with the concrete driveway and the brick exterior, and I walk in, it's decorated with granite countertops and cream colored cabinets, and you're literally living your dream and scripting it out as if it's occurring and you can script every day. You can script your dream out a paragraph at a time every day and live it, because what you're doing is you're just reinforcing that visual image into your mind, into the mind's third eye, which is such a powerful place. And once you continue to reinforce that every single day, you're going to do the steps, and before you know it, it's coming to you. I talk about visualization a lot as you're falling asleep. This is one of my favorite times to visualize, is as I'm falling asleep at night. A lot of us go to sleep at night with the weight of the world on our shoulders, and that is a huge mistake. You don't want to go to sleep thinking about the worries of the day, or the things that didn't happen, or the things you didn't get done, or the things that didn't come to fruition, or how you're going to pay this bill or that bill. You want to go to sleep with your visualization in your mind. And I love going to sleep at night and focusing on what I'm visualizing, whether it's growing my YouTube channel to, 300,000 subscribers, or whatever it is that I'm visualizing. I love focusing on that as I'm going to sleep. It puts me in such a happy place and helps me to go to sleep on a positive note. And when you go to sleep on a positive note, you are able to get a restful night's sleep and get to the deeper sleep stages. And I know this because I was a sleep technologist for 5 years. So you're able to get to those deeper sleep stages of REM and sleep so much better, so that you wake rejuvenated and revived, and you have your game plan because you visualized it as you were going to bed the previous night. So, that is just some techniques that I love, and the journals that I create, they have daily guided prompts that get you started with just the basics of things to do to start manifesting and to walk in the active faith that you need to walk in every day, and gratitude, because gratitude is so huge. It's difficult for us to ask for things every single day if we're not giving something back. So you've got to give gratitude. You've got to stop and be thankful and give gratitude for the things that you do have, because I can promise you, no matter how bad you think you've got it, somebody's got it worse. And giving gratitude is such a huge important thing for us to be able to do and to give back. And when you pay your bills, if you are struggling to pay your bills, when you write those bills out, you write them out with gratitude that you've got the money to pay them and that you're giving that money, because that is a cyclic thing. Giving that money out and paying those bills brings it right back to you. It's like the figure 8. It is constant. It is a continuous pathway, and you do not want to break that pathway, whether it be in financial abundance or whether it be in loving your neighbor or your enemy. Whatever it is, that is a energy field that is continual, and you want to make sure that it's a positive energy field all the time, because acid words, and I love this, and I'm quoting Florence Scovel Shinn here, acid words and acid thoughts creates acid in the body and causes manifestation of all types of illnesses, like arthritis and rheumatism and things like that. So you want to be so mindful of the energies that you're carrying within your body. And doubt is faith on its head. So you've got to keep doubt in check and keep it in control, and make sure that you're walking in that active faith. I know it's hard. We all have to do it. So here are some things that you can do whenever you're having those low vibration times. So what is low vibration? What's high vibration? Let's talk about that. So a low vibration is emotions of anger, spite, envy, hurt, sadness, jealousy. Those are low vibrational emotions. And when we feel those type of emotions, it's creating a vibrational energy that we're sending out that attracts that right back to us. So it's so important, once we realize we're doing that, to turn it back around as quickly as we can. So how can we do that? And what is high vibration frequencies? So high vibration frequencies is the opposite emotions. So that's going to be your happiness, your joy, your gratitude, the wonderful emotions, excitement and anticipation. Patience is a wonderful high vibration. And impatience is a low vibration, because that causes us to get frustrated and angry and breeds low vibrational frequencies. So it's really important that we understand the difference between what is a high vibrational and what is a low vibrational. Why am I feeling, and ask yourself, why am I feeling this low vibrational? Why am I feeling angry? Why am I feeling envy? Why am I feeling jealousy? Stop and ask yourself why you're feeling this. And also, when you start having doubt about your abilities or what you can achieve or what you can do, or you start having negative talk, ask yourself why. Why am I having these thoughts? Why? Because let me tell you something, the universe doesn't discriminate in any way, form, or fashion. Its abundance is equally out there for everyone, for the taking, for the asking. If you walk in active faith and gratitude and positive vibrations, it is there. You have to learn these principles and these habits, and you have to practice them. You can't just snap your fingers and say, oh, okay, I need money today. It doesn't work that way. It's principles, and it's using and utilizing these principles and making sure that you're very mindful and that you're putting out those vibrations continuously that brings things back to you. And people say a lot of times, have you ever gone out to eat with somebody and they want to pay for the dinner? So this is a great example because you need to allow those other people to do, if they want to do that, allow them to do that, because that is that cyclic energy and that's what they want to do. And if you don't allow them to pay when they want to pay, you're blocking their energy. You're blocking their giving energy so that they can receive back. So it's really important that you learn to receive. If you do not learn to receive and accept, then things will never come to you. So you have, a lot of us say, well, I don't want anybody's help. That's a pride thing and that's a low vibration. So it's not about accepting help, it's about opening yourself up to receiving the gifts that the universe is trying to give you. And once you do that, you'll find yourself giving back. So that's the great thing about it, is you'll find yourself giving right back. I want to take just a second here to say hello to the people in chat. Hi, MJ and J family. It's so great to see you here and love seeing you here. And so I thank you guys for joining me in the chat. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. I'll answer them at the end of this. I do want to finish getting through this value added information here, and then I'll answer the questions that you may have at the end. So that is some tips for self-talk and receiving, and making sure you're opening up that abundance channel of receiving the gifts that the universe has to bring to you. It's all about active faith. So let's talk about a couple of things that you can do to raise your vibration when it gets low. So one of the things that I love to do, and you guys will see me post videos on those natural strategies. I've got a couple of out there. One of them is I just posted, so make sure you go check this video out. It's on chamomile and all the benefits of chamomile, because I can promise you 90% of the people out there don't have a clue of all the benefits that chamomile actually has. And this the video is on is actually Egyptian chamomile, which is the purest grade of chamomile that there is. So I love teas because the pure act of taking a moment to prepare a glass of tea in itself is a vibration raising strategy, because it lowers your stress and anxiety. A, and B, if you're preparing a natural tea, you already know that you're doing something really good to nourish the body. So you're giving the body some wonderful benefits. And two, the other thing that I like to do, especially if I'm having a stressful moment when I'm preparing that tea, is to take an affirmation. And taking an affirmation is simply that you have an affirmation and you can just meditate on it while you're preparing the tea. There's so many ways to meditate. Most people think you've got to be in a room and you got to sit down and lock yourself away, and that you don't. You can meditate when you're driving. You can meditate when you're washing dishes. You can meditate on an affirmation and turn it into a mantra. And a mantra is taking an affirmation and just repeating it multiple times. You can do this for 60 seconds and watch what it does to your vibrational frequency. You can use a mantra, for example, everything that I have to achieve everything I want is within my power. And you can simply state that over while you're preparing your tea, and then sit down and enjoy the aroma and the blessings from that tea and have the gratitude for that moment. And that will raise your vibration. Another way to raise your vibration really quickly is exercise. And by exercising, I'm not it's great if you can get up in the mornings and do your exercise, but let's say you don't have an exercise regimen. Now, I have an exercise regimen. I have to get up every day and exercise. I just have to do it. It's just part of who I am now. It wasn't always that way, but it's part of who I am for the last 10 years. So I have to get up and exercise and then do some stretching and some yoga. And that's just part of who I am. But that is a huge vibrational raiser. And if you don't believe me, just try it. So let's say you're at work, you're having a bad day, get up, get out, go and take that 10-minute walk around the block and do your meditation while you're walking. That's a fabulous time to do meditation, and meditate on positive affirmations and get that blood pumping to the brain and get that vibrational energy up. So that is a huge way to be able to raise your vibration. So don't forget to check out some of the other videos. I'm going to link up those playlist that I mentioned. Make sure that you check out the playlist on empowering yourself with law of attraction and universal law techniques, and then natural alternative strategies. If you haven't hit the like for me. And if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I got some great videos coming down the pipe. And MJ and J family, thank you so much for being here. It's wonderful to see you again. And I don't see any questions here, so if you guys have questions, comments below after this live stream, you can always hit me up in the comments below, and I will reply to those. I reply to all comments and that are legitimate questions and comments. So make sure that you hit me up in the comments below and tell me, what is holding you back from achieving your goal? What are you struggling with most? Do you struggle with fear? Or do you fear of success? Some people struggle with fear of success. They actually fear success and what they would actually do if they achieved success. I know that I've actually battled that one back and forth of, well, what if I get so big that I can't handle it? So we all have fears and doubts, but it's great to acknowledge them, and then you have to confront them and say, 90% of the fears that we have never come true anyway. So I'm Penny Morgan. It was great to have you guys here, and I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.